What's up, everybody? Geektastic Cypher here on Free X Agents Media and also on twitch.tv/Geektastic Cypher. I am one of the hosts, Brian Holiday. We got our buddy Jaws D.
What's up, people?
How you doing, Jaws?
I'm good.
It's been a couple weeks, homie.
Yeah. Busy at work. Got some people underneath me. Got to help them out. Bring them into the office. Let them see how the office is, and then, you can go back home. It's okay. So it's
Come
like,
into the office, see the wonders, get out.
well, no. I mean, if they want to be in the office, then fine. But if they don't want to, then they don't have to. So it's not you have to be in the office because I need to see you.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, we do tickets. I could see how many you're doing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
fair.
hard. It's
That's
legit not hard. I don't need any fancy I don't really need any fancy like tools or anything like that. It's just like, okay, you doing your job? Are you jumping on this? This has been hanging there for a while. It's not that bad. So it's been pretty good.
Sorry. Had to close the door.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting cold in here. Sometimes I forget the AC is not my friend.
Don't worry, man. I have my cat. I fed my cat. She's good. I don't think she's gonna bother me for a little bit. There might be
Lies.
some digging, but it might be on an upper floor or something like that.
know
So
for a fact that cat is going to come and the second you decided that this cat was going to leave you alone is the second that cat decided it was going to try and ruin your night.
no, she's
That's
been
how they
okay.
are.
She like, we have a good vibe together. Like, I'll just chill on the couch.
You're in the
And
honeymoon phase with your kid.
No, I'm being serious. I bother her. I pick on her, but I don't bother her to the point where she has to like scratch me or something.
Okay.
No scratches.
No
None.
scratches. Never been
No
scratched
scratch.
by a cat.
By this cat, no.
Okay.
Other cats is only because, like, they might be old and skittish, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm really enjoying you," claws into you, and they're like, "No, I'm not a pillow." Ow, 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 ow.
I gotta say though, if you haven't been scratched, do you even own a cat yet?
I just know what I'm doing.
Okay. Oh, excuse-nous. Out here braggadocious.
They push on you. Like, they really let
true.
you know, like, hey, back up off me. And you're like, no, you're so cute. I love you. I'm gonna put my face in round. And you're like, ow, why did the cat scratch me? Because you were messing with it. And it told you, hey, I'm cool.
The
Go
cat
over
was just like,
there.
listen, I know you think we need to have interactions all the time, but I need you to understand I don't f with you unless I want to f with you. And
When you
that's
ignore
okay.
them, they come to you.
Oh, I know. That's something that I've
They-
always like when it comes to cats, it's just like, "Hey, how you doing, buddy?" And it's just like, "Oh, why are you paying attention to me? I don't want." But then when you walk in and you're just like, you don't even acknowledge their existence. You don't look in their direction. They're all up on your legs, rubbing against you and stuff. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And then the more you're just like, "Can you please go away?" They're just like, "Oh no, you're mine now."
They want to interact on their terms, not on your terms.
Right. I feel like the entire art of negging comes from how to look. The guy who wrote the book on negging was just watching a cat being like, "Oh, that's how you get the see."
You gotta ignore it. You gotta ignore the cat.
That's how you get it.
Come here. No, you gotta ignore it.
Ignore it. Don't put the what was it that they said in 40-Year-Old Virgin? Don't put the on the pedestal.
Oh,
that's what it is. It's with the kitty cats. That's how they figured it out.
Goodness.
All these silly Apatow movies back in the day.
And then Beyonce walk around. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Bum, bum, bum.
Cats. But speaking of cats, this is a weird transition. But speaking of cats, big cats, important cats, let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the one who brought one of the most famous cat characters to life, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. He passed 2-year anniversary. If I'm not mistaken, passed since our last episode.
Wow.
Or right around the last episode. And I don't know that we gave him a proper nod, but I think it's also important to mention that he was honored to pick up his wife in his honor picked up the I always say this word wrong. Posthumous apologies. Thank you for posthumous Emmy for What If, where he played Star-Lord, which he did a fantastic job. If anyone has watched the What If, What If as a series, for anyone who doesn't know, is a series that features the stories of the MCU and a what if scenario. What if instead of picking up Peter Quill, they picked up T'Challa and a whole bunch of other things. And the zombie stories, a lot of great stories came out of the What If universe, and even a really, really cool version of Ultron, a infinity powered Ultron. And then, but easily one of the best episodes was definitely the episode with Chadwick Boseman as Star-Lord. And that episode was also just so funny to watch. The idea that when he spoke, he just talks Thanos out of the idea of destroying everything. He just explains to him like, nah, homie, this isn't a good idea. And I like the idea that just T'Challa just talking to him is what fixed everything, as opposed to this kind of fighting him or defeating him. It really came down to him just being like, if you just kind of connect with him, it works out. I thought that was cool. Jaws, did you get a chance to watch the What If episodes?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay. Oh, I have. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, even at that, like, don't get me wrong, all the other What If episodes are good in their own way.
Yeah.
Like, like example, one I liked, even though, like, hypothetically speaking, if you were to think about it, was the answer was easy, which was the when Ant-Man's really the original Ant-Man the whole time, and tries to kill all the Avengers or soon to be Avengers and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
That's a good one. But a lot of them, outside of that one that I just named and the Chadwick Boseman one, they're very centric around the character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what this person is doing, and because these things are happening to this person, this is what's happening. Whereas, like, the ones that's amazing for the Chad Boseman What If is that you're messing around with an entire universe that's been changed because of the What If. Like, you get to see. So just spoil a little bit for you.
Yeah, it's okay.
But it's like because you see him get how he gets abducted and so on and so forth, and then becomes ultimately Star-Lord. So when he's interacting with people, there's just so many more people that you see affected by it. So there's just so many more players, which makes the episode all that much better because you see more of the, whether you want to call it the butterfly or domino effect. Like it's a deeper dive compared to the other ones I found.
Right.
Because, like, if you, for example, there's like the Carter episode where it becomes Captain Carter, but like you're literally just replacing her instead of Steve Rogers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, Steve plays a different role ultimately, and there are things that change because of it. But in reality, all you're really doing is you're literally saying, instead of Steve doing it, she did it. But like the people she interacts with, they're like friends, just like how he was friends with them. It's just that instead of it being, hey Steve, it's hey Captain Carter. Like, like you have what's that brigade with that like guy with the funny mustache?
Oh, the
Howling Commanders.
Yeah, you have the Howling Commandos in it for moments, right? But like they're not acting any different because there wouldn't be as much of a domino effect just by it being her instead, let's say, in that position. But when you see it with Chadwick Boseman's ones, that's the one with like the most tethers.
Right. And I'm actually impressed with the fact that they didn't fall into the trope of like, because it's a woman, the men are going to treat her differently. Because I expected that to be half the story. And because the episodes are so short, I was actually worried with the Peggy episode that would become a major theme in how the cliche classic story of like, it's a woman now. So they're going to sexualize her. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to change all these different aspects, even though, for being honest, that was America's ass. So if anyone was going to be sexualized, it was going to be Steve. But jokes aside, when they did it with Peggy, I was just like, oh, they're not even focusing on that angle, which I thought was great. And same thing with Star-Lord, T'Challa, they didn't focus on his race, and that's one of the things that I really like about the What If universe. And
I would only just to cut in a little bit with him, that I don't think they would focus on his race only because everybody's race is different in space.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, no, they're not pulling a Star Wars, right?
Yeah. It's just everybody.
Fuck Dan Harmon. Sorry, what?
Just hate. Just opening a can of hate for no reason. Fuck people.
I hadn't said it in a long time. I felt like I was losing myself, guys.
You just said that because the first episode came out this weekend.
Yeah, it did. I definitely wanted to say it.
And I know what you're probably going to say, but I don't care what you said. It was still a good episode.
It was a good episode. I was going to say I'm impressed that they actually did a good one again. It felt like a throwback. if you guys don't know, and we're gonna probably spoil it for you right now, Rick and Morty is back. Season 6, episode 1 dropped last week, and Dan Harmon, in his true stupid fashion, managed to write another solid. Well, I mean, he's not the only writer. There's a bunch of other people, and Justin, also one of the creators, and I think, if anything, one of the actual powerhouses behind that show, as opposed to Dan, who's just a name. But I think Justin, I think they really pulled off a solid episode. I
thought it was a great episode.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know me. I don't with these guys anymore all that much. I'm not impressed with the. I'm not. What is it? I'm not taking up what they're putting down, like the kids say. I'm hip with it. I'm cool.
That's like from the 80s, if not early.
I'm picking up what you put down, kids.
Oh my god.
I'm too old.
Like that's too old for like us.
But like I was watching the episode. Funny enough, I watched the episode twice, one right after the other.
Okay.
I watched it the first time, chuckled, and then watched it the second time right away to be like, okay, let me rewatch this and pinpoint the things I didn't like. And then
Wow.
instead of being like, what did I think about this? No, let's go straight. What didn't I
yeah.
So wait. Is part of your process that you never do it another time to write down what things you like about it? Like,
no,
not funny.
You hate the show.
Oh yeah, guys, haterade runs through my blood sometimes. I think we've gotten to that point. I don't bleed blood, I bleed haterade. It's kind of a gloopy purple color, but hey, it still looks good. Yeah, hey.
Oh my god.
So I went into that episode thinking, oh, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna let us down? What punches are they gonna pull? And then I watched the whole episode, and for once they didn't make Jerry an unbearable character, because and one of the things I think I liked was the fact that they made so many references to the idea that they are like so many season 2 references in this episode, that like them bragging about the fact like, oh, this was the energy 4 seasons ago, and this is the energy we're putting into the show now. And I thought that was really good. I also like the idea that the Jerry from season 2 is this kind of wilderness evolved, and they even say you had a full arc. And that's the thing I find funny about the show, because I mean, I get that Rick and Morty is self-referencing meta series that's going to always brag about, like, we are a TV show. We know we're a TV show. All of this stuff you're watching is us being part characters in this universe. It's kind of like Deadpool, She-Hulk, Joker-esque. All those hyper aware characters, as they say in the comic books, characters who know they're comic book characters. And these characters know they're part of a show. Even the characters you don't think know that they're part of a show. Like, I would understand if Rick, Morty, and the sister knew they were part of a show, but I wouldn't think the mom or the dad would know. And it seems like everyone gets, like, this is a show. It's silly. We do stupid-ish. Let's just continue. And I'll give them points for that. And acknowledging that the show can have flaws and that it's not always the best storytelling, but it can have direction and be interesting.
Well, I thought one thing I liked is I like one thing. I mean, like if we're going to talk about some of the things we liked about episodes, so that's what I do when I watch them for a second time.
Liking stuff. What is this?
I like that they solidified that who the family is, and now that the whole family is all on the same page, because now the whole family's had to go through what Morty's done once or twice now before them, and Rick has done obviously multiple times. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you guys actually want to stay alive, and we like this version of, like, everyone likes this version of each other. So you guys want to know what it is to do this? Cool. This is what it is. Yeah. That's one thing I liked.
That's fair.
And I loved that Jerry finally got to say fuck you to the family moment, but not fuck you to the family moment.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Because he's like, so Wendell, did you see the episode?
No. But I know Jerry's the dad, right?
Yeah. So
he's played by what's his name?
The guy from Saturday Night Live.
Chris Parnell?
Yes, I believe that's his name.
Chris Parnell.
So
Cyril Figgis.
Yes.
That dude has a pretty dope career.
Not to spoil too much, but there's basically something happens, and anyone who's used a portal to like leave one universe and go to another one, they're sent back to their original universe. So if they left a fucked up timeline or was abducted out of their timeline. They're literally just being dropped back into where they were.
Yeah.
So, Rick has this crazy story where you find out stuff about the original Rick, the one who's lost his wife, and you hear her voice for the first time, but you realize it's just a recording. So you find out a bunch of backstory. Morty goes with his original dad and goes through this whole thing, but then the dad that they have presently in this like family that has accepted everyone, he's just eating, like they have all this story, and at the end of the show they're like, oh, we have to go get Jerry, and he's just sitting at a table and the entire family is just like giving him shit. And like, the doorbell rings, he gets up because he's the one being given shit to, so he just walks away for a moment, and it's the other family be like, yeah, we're here, we didn't forget you, like come back. And he's like, 1 second, and he closes the door and he finally goes in, he's like, fuck all of you, and like gives like a little like rant to the whole family. I'm like, sick, good on you, Jerry. And then like as he's backing up because he forgot that he closed the door, he like bumps into the door and it's like all awkwardly. I'm like, that was perfect. Like you have these crazy tangents, all these like real life lessons for the whole story, and this guy finally gets his like, fuck all of you guys, I'm out. Like fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out.
I'm actually shocked that the Rick of that universe didn't try and hurt him.
I think it's because if they would have tried to do that, it would have had to have elongated into like the other Rick stepping in.
Okay, yeah.
So it's just like, and technically Rick is always the mindset of like, go fuck yourself. And if I'm not mistaken, at the end of season 2, so either at this end of season 2 or at the end of season 3, Rick assists in the fact of getting them to get divorced, right? So if you're in season 2, Rick, him wanting to just bounce up and leave is like, sick, I don't have to do that shit anymore. That's a very good point. That the Rick of that era would want Jerry to disappear. Yeah, he's like, fuck you.
It would make him happy that Jerry kind of just dips on the whole family.
Yeah.
And
it's all his fault. So he's like, amazing. Like,
Okay.
Because the only reason why Jerry's liked now is because they've kept him around for so long that because basically he's leached onto Rick in a certain emotional or like connected form, because like Rick only cares about the whole family, but now you can tell he slightly cares about Jerry. Slightly.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they actually go back for Jerry to me is still shocking. I really genuinely didn't expect. I mean, and even the fact that the episode ends with them acknowledging, oh, hey, we're all this like we're a family of this timeline now. Even though like because it's the mom, the daughter, the
two moms.
It's two versions
of the mom.
Yeah, the two moms and the daughter are all from the same universe.
Yeah.
Rick is from a different universe.
Yeah.
Morty's from a different universe, and Jerry's from a different universe.
Yeah, because the one that I lost track of is because what it is that you have Rick's universe is fucked up. Right. And when he gets sent back to his universe, what I noticed is that there's nobody there. There's genuinely nobody. Like there's not even people in the background and stuff. So I feel like
when Rick went to his universe, there's people there, but they're all being tortured. Remember in the episode? All the people are there. He's in his garage. There's the dead wife's voice that haunts him. And there's people on the street, but I think he has them in a loop.
Oh, right. He
has them
in
that loop.
Yes, you're correct, because he interacts with
Yeah, the poor guy.
He's like begging to like get out of it.
It's like Jaws. At one point, there's a dude who's just like, I found this note in my garbage can that says that everything is a fake and I am not who I seem to be, and I'm stuck in a loop, and the sad man has left us here to die. and then Rick's just like, don't worry about it. He's just like, it's okay, I'll just throw it out with the others. And you're like, oh my god,
the others.
Like, it seems like there's just trash cans full of these notes. You see a girl walking a dog, but the dog's just a skeleton. She's just dragging a skeleton down the street. Obviously, she was a lot younger walking her dog, but they continued to age within the loop.
Yeah. So it's not like they're being like re-aged from every day, So like, at one point, I mean, technically, at one point in time, that does mean that whole universe will die eventually.
Yeah,
because more likely than not, some people are just eating just enough to survive that day, and some people are just getting old.
So sad.
I thought it was deep. Overall, it was.
That's
really
messed
deep.
up.
Well, that's the thing is because I'm so curious about what happens because in this one you find out that that a Rick from another timeline, like that's one thing I don't think we ever knew. It's a Rick from another timeline, or sorry, another universe that killed this Rick's. He says family. I think he doesn't specify. So that could be family means what? All the family, or specifically
I think it's
the
whole
mom?
family.
Yeah. So who knows what happens? First of all, who knows what the beef is? Second of all, if that's true, then why are all the other moms dead? So did this guy do it to all the Ricks? Because that mom, like, we've never seen her in any other universe.
Right.
We've seen dozens and thousands of other universes.
Even in this universe, she doesn't exist. She's just a haunting program that's always one room away, so that he can't. Like and it sounds like she is a robot, because a robot that looks like her, because the way he said it was, "You put me one room away so that I could never comfort you."
Mm.
And I was just like, God, yo, man, honestly,
That's broken.
I'm okay with going back to this version of Rick where he's constantly insanely depressed. Like, remember the episode where he's about to commit suicide but passes out before the suicide machine kills him?
Oh, yeah.
Like that kind of Rick was, and that's what I always said. That's the version of Rick I like.
I would say season 2 and seasons 1 through 3 for me were like a proper evolution. But just, you know what it is? It's like how in Family Guy, Stewie used to be a mad evil scientist, and then he was like a mad evil scientist who so happened to also be flamboyant, we'll say.
Yeah.
And then out there and all that. And then eventually, and he was also like a mad scientist and an assassin and like all these things.
But he can't kill his mom that he wants to kill.
Exactly.
he's this assassin. He's super good at it, but he just can't kill his mom, even though he wants to kill his mom.
But then as time has gone by, it's just like for a long time, it was, I haven't watched it in a while, but for the longest time, it just turned into be basically more flamboyant and then just really, really smart. And then from time to time, you see the evil genius. From time to time, you'll see the assassin. I feel like they did that for like a lot of characters in season 4 and 5 a bit type thing. They were going like,
you have to evolve characters though.
You have to, but you have to stay in your lane to a certain degree.
Right. And that's, I think, is my issue with Rick. That Rick, the suicidal broke it. Because Morty is the only character that I think really, really evolved a lot in comparison to the other characters. Amber is like a teenage girl who just keeps playing a teenage girl.
I mean,
Summer, sorry. Who's Amber?
No, I don't know. But no, I was actually going to say Summer did evolve because she used to be like a very basically no, it's okay. She used to basically be a pussy, and now she's not one.
I think she still is. No. I don't think she was ever a pussy.
She was one to like, and now she'll take on anything head on. She's more assertive.
Sure, she's more assertive. I don't think she was ever afraid of taking on the adventures. I think she was annoyed she was never getting invited to the adventures. I don't think she was ever afraid of the adventures.
What about when they took steroids and then beat up everybody?
Right, like stuff like that. Like I that was great actually. Is that the one with the magician too?
I think so.
Because that's how it ends.
Yeah,
just like they outdo, and then they outdo him, and then because they have the steroids, they go on a rampage.
Yeah.
It's going, give it to him.
Yeah. So good.
So you know what? I'll say it again. I've said it before. Dan Harmon, but still, Rick and Morty. Yeah, I mean, the incels have calmed down a bit as uber fans of the show. So I feel
calmed down. They've moved over to something else.
Right. They've moved on to hating.
They flip flop.
They've moved on to hating the next show we're going to talk about, She-Hulk.
Oh boy,
that's what they've done. They've moved on to just squatting on computers, being like, "She twerked. She twerked. I don't like."
I'm like seeing bits and pieces of this whole thing, and it's like all these guys mad that she's twerking, but here's a issue of the comic where she's just jumping rope naked.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, so that's for those of you who don't know, Sensational She-Hulk issue number 40. She's actually not naked. She's wearing a micro bikini. Shame on you perverts. But no joke. Like, yeah, that's the thing that's so ridiculous. I keep seeing people go like, women written by men, and they show Black Widow, they show Scarlet Witch, then they go women written by women, and they show She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion twerking, and it's like, Yeah.
But that's what they'll.
Women writing women will
it's
be more
smart.
comfortable to write stories where they can be comfortable.
And they
Women
and that they could do what they want.
Exactly. Women written by men are often fitting stereotypical roles like Black Widow, who's the femme fatale, or Scarlet Witch, who is the broken girl that is being manipulated by everyone and only recently figured out she had been manipulated by everyone and was tired of the manipulation and was just like, hey, you guys, I'm going ape shit because you got, and then she unfortunately switches to the other stereotype, the angry woman. Oh, look at her, she's so mad now. She's, well, it's like, no. Like,
isn't she allowed to be mad? I mean,
of course she's allowed to be mad.
Ultron was gonna drop. Ultron was gonna drop a whole,
exactly,
drop her whole country on the earth, and then her brother died. And then
she's being hysterical, and that's not fair.
Like she's lost so many people.
That's not fair. We're whiny bitches who complain about anything women do.
Her life, she's not allowed to be happy
properly.
she's not allowed to be happy. Hey, I got my brother. Oh no, he got shot.
Hey,
all right, gonna love this android dude over here. Oh no, Thanos just yanked the thing out of his head, and now he's no more.
I'm gonna create a family.
There's no joy here.
Family's gonna be gone. Yo,
There's
honestly,
no
like
I can't even call myself a mutant. What the hell am I? A miracle?
That's one of the things that, as a fan of the MCU, being fans alongside some of these morons makes it so hard because y'all are morons. Y'all are big ass dumb morons. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're reading. You don't know what you're saying. You're fake faux fans with Fing Fang Foom should step on your phony asses. God, I want to throw in more alliterations, but I can't even think of them. Honestly, watching She-Hulk is an entertaining show. It's a fucking comedy. That's the whole point. That's the other thing. People complaining that a character's twerking at the end of an episode. It is a comedy. It is the first full-fledged comedy series that has ever been done in the MCU. Every other series has been something with comedic elements. This show is a comedy first. It is a sitcom. That is the goal. That's what they were going for.
Okay, that's what you meant. I thought Iron Fist was a flat-out comedy, but okay.
No,
I got you.
That's why he's not. That's why he's not allowed back in the clubhouse.
Yeah. No, but yeah, man. Honestly, I was thinking about, like, should I do this rant against these incestuous incel idiots? And I was like, maybe I shouldn't. I don't want to even talk to them. But no, y'all are dumb. Y'all are dumb. You make all the rest of us fans look bad because we can just accept that this is a show and these characters can do whatever the hell they want. And you guys sit there complaining and complaining. And it's like, my God, I just want to Thanos snap y'all out of existence. It'd be so much better.
Oh,
I would, honestly. I want.
We're still talking about murder.
Murder? They just cease to exist.
That's still genocide.
Guys, let's discuss this. Is it genocide to erase people? Because I didn't
just renaming it. You're just giving it a nicer name.
Renaming genocide.
I mean, there's the alt-right,
right,
or Nazis.
Yeah,
one's just got a better PR name. That's all.
Even alt-right's not a good PR name if we're being honest. But yeah,
it isn't. But I mean, the other one actually came into power, had a symbol, actually completed a chunk of its thing, and then they got defeated. And now these other people that have nothing to do with them are picking up the ashes of a defeated foe and saying, we're this now. And it's like, why? They lost. They stayed down, old man.
They lost.
To anyone who's a fan of Marvel and doesn't understand what being a fan means, where you accept that the thing you like can be imperfect and that it will never please everyone, but that you sit there demanding that they do better when they're doing very well and they're doing by other fans. That's the thing. You just need to sit back and shut the fuck up for a bit.
If they're doing what they're supposed to be doing,
by a bit I mean forever.
But like, if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, then like, what's the problem? Like, because like as you said, it was advertised as a sitcom. It was not advertised to be taken seriously. Never. If you even go to, like, I mean, I haven't read a lot of She-Hulk, but based off of a lot, like, someone who interacts with, like, breaks the fourth wall, there is going to be comedy there no matter what.
Yeah.
So that element being there, like, someone told me the origin story. Okay, sure. They sped it up a bit.
Yeah.
They made it way more simple, but you don't need it to be complicated. And they were able to do an entire origin story in a 25 to 30 minute time. That's pretty good.
Also, on top of that, with her origin story being quote unquote fast, that already has a precedent in the Hulk movie, the first one with not the Ang Lee one, but the one with the Edward Norton.
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk, with the vial of blood goes on the dude's open wound on his head, and he's supposed to become the leader, but he doesn't. So
everything Jaws is saying.
So I mean, it does tie in, even though, like,
we
they kind of
have had 20-something Marvel movies. You don't need to give us how the thing became the thing in every single one. If you haven't figured out the formula yet, something happens, powers kick in, and they're heroes. That's it. Let's just jump to when they're doing cool shit. I don't need to see them figuring it out.
But that's another reason why they need to bring in the concepts of, like, mutants into, like, I know that they're gonna wait. They're not doing it in phase 4.
We're not gonna see for a while.
We're not gonna see, but, like, it would be the easiest way to get out of that problematic thing, because then you're just talking about actual origin stories of people's lives, as opposed to, like,
Dave, they're still gonna complain. They're still gonna complain. They're gonna say
anything that gets made gets complaints.
The fact that we even have a She-Hulk show, because to my understanding, Marvel is never, ever, ever, ever going to do a standalone Hulk movie, because that's tied up with Paramount. So the only way they can kind of get the only way they can kind of get around it is by doing, like, Hulk appears in Thor, Hulk appears in this, Hulk appears in that. I don't think Paramount owns the rights to She-Hulk, and that's why they managed to do this. Is it Universal? I thought it was Paramount.
It's Universal.
It's Universal? Excuse me.
Yeah.
So, that's the only reason they're able to do flat out She-Hulk. Because they're like, we don't need She-Hulk. Everyone likes the Hulk. We're going to do that.
Yeah. Paramount was the original partner for Marvel for the Iron Man. That's why. That's how I always remember that it's Universal, because I know Paramount wasn't involved with the first Hulk film, specifically because it was the other one. But that's the thing. Everything you're saying is factual. Everything you're saying is true. There is roadblocks to creating another standalone Hulk film, and they're just probably not going to do it because there's legal tape. And
it's the knock-on effect of when Marvel was going bankrupt, and they're like, here, please buy our property. Make a movie of it. Buy our property. Please. So I mean,
they're not characters visibility.
Yeah, they can't do everything 100% like they want to, because they might. I mean, as much as Disney's trying to buy up everything and get everything underneath the house, I don't think they're gonna break the bank. Like, I mean, they have other stuff to break the bank for, but I mean, they're not gonna. I mean, you don't stay rich by breaking your bank.
Yeah, but I think they'll eventually get the Hulk stuff from Power. Like, I mean, why would they keep it if they're not even doing
at this
anything?
point? I'm sure there's some sort of deal where it's pretty much in house. I just don't know the details of that.
The reason I think it's the way it works is that if they do something with the Hulk, then they have to pay them money. So it's just like, oh great, like we have to cut him a check or something. There has to be something where they don't get all the money for it, or there has to be something that's not beneficial for them to do a movie and to go to them and be like, hey, can we get the rights for this movie? We'll split it 50-50. No, we know this guy makes a lot of money more. They'll negotiate like that. I think one of the things I heard about this show is how she just, like, acclimates to her powers quickly. But I guess I'm assuming it's just to get to the point. It's just to speed it along.
But at the same time,
exactly.
I feel at the same time, like, I feel like they've also insinuated that to a certain degree she's not as poisoned as, let's say, Banner is in this universe, and in doing so, her powers are easier. They've already said that her powers are easier to understand, but it's also because she's probably slightly. I imagine she's going to be ultimately weaker than the Hulk if they were to ever make them fight, which I don't think they're going to make them do. But but she's not going to be like one of the strongest, but she's also way not going to be one of the weakest.
Plus, like you said, the leader, that character didn't get depicted as hulking out. It was going into his ear, and it seems that it would have affected his brain. So
I think
It
he got
was-
a head wound and it went into his brain.
Oh yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
It was
Wh-
yeah.
In
I
the
just
movie.
remember him.
I mean, in
yeah,
the movie specifically. Yeah.
yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
remember because I remember him
His
laying
head
on the
being
floor, and I
yeah.
remember
Yeah.
it dropping. I just don't remember, like you said, I don't remember if it's in the ear or if it's in the.
I think it was
Plus,
a head
that's-
wound.
That's the thing. It's different, right? Bruce got hit with gamma radiation from a bomb in the middle of a field. She got a small amount of blood mixed in with hers.
Yeah.
Just that alone could be like, well, this is a different version of the Hulk infection, and
Yeah.
it doesn't affect her the same
Yeah.
way.
And,
Like
and it's as intense as it is
Right.
because like they openly show that. They openly say, like, I'm not angry. I'm not activating it by being
right. Like
like,
she,
you know,
she's,
like
she can
sorry.
be in control, and she can also let loose and let her emotions get the best of her. And I think that's one thing that I've always found that people don't understand about the Hulk. The Hulk isn't a comic book about an angry person. It's a comic book about a person who's managing their emotions.
Mhm.
And I think that's a super important difference, that the Hulk isn't just, and I mean, the movies did a very good point of in the Avengers film where he says, and Jaws, I'll let you do the honors.
My secret is that I'm always angry, and you're like, oh, that's terrible.
And
oh my god, that's a
that is
horrible
the most
realization.
telling thing about the Hulk. I'm always angry. I just choose when to allow myself to
give
let
in.
the flow of the anger turn me into this character, to this Hulk. And it's the same thing with her. She's a woman, and she explains, I'm pretty much always annoyed in some way. I'm always fearful of something happening. I'm always angry at something that's potentially happening because the world we live in does not treat women well. And I'll be able to manage this. And then people are getting upset at her saying that very logical, factual thing. And saying she's Hulk-splaining to the Hulk. And it's like, you
No, I
fuckers
think
don't do anything.
Someone actually said Hulk explaining to you?
Yeah. I've seen people
I-
post Hulk-splaining. Sorry, Josh.
I was watching a video, and I think the guy was saying the only part of the line that's the little contentious part where she says she's infinitely more better at managing her anger, and as she says that, she's hulking out, and I guess the way the guy was saying it was that she doesn't have to shit on her cousin, like, yeesh. You know, it's like,
Hold
okay,
on.
and then he was like, okay, maybe I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She didn't know all the 10 years of stuff he had to go through where he can't be a part of a team
run
because he's on the run. He can't be a part of a team because the bad guys will just use him to make him fight the rest of the team. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna exile myself off the planet for 2 years. Then I get enslaved on another planet, on a war planet, and I'm beating up people just because I just can't be bothered anymore. And then I finally come back. And then the next line where she's getting into a car, she's literally crapping on him, saying like, oh, you ran away to an island to isolate yourself so you don't have to talk with your family, you don't have to, and you do that for like 10 years instead of dealing with your trauma. And he was like, oh, I guess you totally knew about all of his issues. Wow, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
She's just a flat out jerk for not like trying to empathize with her cousin, to be like, okay, yeah, I get it, but it's not that hard. It's not as hard for me because I'm just dealing with this constantly. But it was just like, and then he worded it how she would say it to him a little bit differently with just a smidge more empathy. And he was like, I'm not a TV writer, but she could have, instead of just being like really like and putting him down like that.
I don't know.
It was that part. It was the infinitely more, and it's just like I like for the Hulk to finally get to this point of, you know,
Zen.
I'm Zen and I'm Bruce, and I merged the two together. It took people dying. It took a snap. It took him being on another planet, just being the Hulk for like 2 years.
Hold on. Here's the thing though, and this is the thing that bothers me. Everyone keeps saying that she said infinitely better than you.
I can't remember. It's infinitely something.
Yeah, but this is the thing, because you're not wrong. I've heard everyone say that she says infinitely better than you.
Mm-hmm.
The actual line is, I'm an expert of controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Right. More.
And as a woman,
right.
That's not false.
She's not lying.
No.
And that's the thing. Everyone I've seen online heard that line wrong or is choosing to hear it the way they want to hear it to fit the narrative they want to say.
They're choosing to interpret the way they want to interpret.
Yes.
Because just like renaming genocide.
Right? Listen here, you bastards. No, but I mean, like, I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Mhm.
And I think I don't know the age difference, but let's say that they're 10 years
Yeah,
apart.
we're never gonna know the age difference.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
Something
I
like
mean,
that. No, but
technically,
that's a good
technically Hulk should
estimate.
be 40, 50. I don't know.
Yeah, I would
These
say Hulk is in
20
his
movies
50s.
long.
Yeah,
How-
but- Yeah,
how
well,
do you-
she's like let's say 40s and she's
No
30s.
way.
No,
Oh.
he's
he.
Oh, he's in his 40s. No, he's
Yeah,
even older than that.
You think so?
You think that he was only in his 30s in the first Avengers movie? Or even in the Incredible Hulk, he's only in his 30s?
Oh,
I
you
he's
think
older.
time passes by the exact same way in their universe than it does ours?
But
Like
we
the
know
real
it's
universe.
we know it's like 2025 in the universe, so it's not us.
But did
That's
they
how much time has
specify what
passed.
year? But did they specify? Do they specify when they like in the Marvel U?
In
Do
the
they specify the years?
MCU, I'm pretty sure the year in the first Iron Man movie is like
Is what's written.
the
It's
late
written,
20 the late aughts. As
Yeah, I
Really?
guess. Yeah. So then I
oh,
guess.
what-
Well, yeah.
okay. Let's look. 'Cause
I was
would-
gonna
I
say
would-
he was in his.
we
20s.
got the internet.
I would only assume like after Endgame, then that would be like it'd be the time jump.
Well, because that's the thing I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if in Endgame when they're doing the jumps, if they specify where they are, but do they specify the year of where they are? I'm
So
trying to remember.
Iron Man 1 is set in 2009, 2010.
Okay, so that means
It's been 15
15
years.
years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say he's in 40s. I would say 40s.
He's a Gen Xer.
I'd
I'd say he was
think-
between
Oh
25
no, Gen
and
Xers
30.
are hitting 50.
I think he's between
I think
20
he's in
and
his
25.
50s. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say he's in his
probably-
50s.
So you're
Probably
saying that
late
when they started, he was in his 40s. That I disagree with.
No, when they started, he was in his late
Like
30s.
like if it's in 2000, nah, I don't know. Nah,
It's
I would say he's
again,
in his-
it's 15 years that have passed. I'm saying he's in.
yeah, but
potentially
remember,
his-
you're saying that when Edward Norton was playing and he was 30 in his late 30s. No,
I don't think
you
he's in
don't
his
think the
20s.
character was in his late 30s. You think the character is older than that.
no. I thought Edward Norton was supposed to be playing someone like
In their 20s.
30, like late
Oh,
20s, 30s,
Hell
like somewhere between
the fuck no,
25
Abe.
and 30.
No way. You think Edward Norton's character is supposed to be in his 20s?
Or 30 to 35.
Okay, let's look at it this way. How much education do you need to be a physicist? That alone will tell
Depends
us.
if you're a genius or not. And
Yeah,
Bruce
Bruce
is always
Banner-
depicted as a
They do have him
genius.
on the classroom wall in Spider-Man. In Spider-Man School for the Gifted, the what was it called? The science school that he's a part of. They do have him on the wall, even though he's technically a war criminal.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, if
He is a war criminal.
He's,
You're not
he's
wrong.
technically, yeah, he's a war criminal because I mean,
just love how
the
he
government's
says it's
constantly chasing him, just constantly. I mean, same with Captain
Okay,
America, war criminal.
Bruce Banner is born December 18th, 1969.
Is this MCU?
Yes.
60.
How did you find that?
Because if you look up Hulk Marvel Cinematic Universe Wiki, it says date of birth, December
Jeez.
18th, 1969.
So then his age would be what? So he's,
Yeah,
so
so
he's
he's a
50s.
He's a Gen X.
2025 in that universe.
He's like 55.
1969.
So he's 56.
He's 56 years old.
Well, I disagree with
So
you,
I
Marvel.
was right.
I don't like you, Marvel. I disagree on
So
this.
he
I
was
think
in
He
his
is a Gen
40s.
Xer.
He's in his early 40s when the first Incredible Hulk movie comes out, and I would say Jen was a teenager at that time. She's relatively out of law school, and I would say
She
the
got 2
average
degrees.
just two degrees.
Yeah, if you look, I think in the beginning when she's talking, she's I guess she's doing her closing statement, she's practicing, and it
Okay.
zooms out. You see 2 degrees on her wall. So she's like a double major in something else. So I think it's UCLA law, and then something else. I think there's 2
Okay.
degrees on her wall.
So I'm just looking up. It says the average person finishes law school in their late 20s. There doesn't matter. Of course, man, the people on here are so annoying sometimes with these guys. You can graduate from law school at any age. Yes, I get that. We're saying if someone did their education the whole way through,
The
you
average. You're looking for the
jackass.
average.
Yeah,
The person who would do it in a normal fashion.
yeah. If you went to school the whole way through, didn't take breaks, went straight into
Nah.
law school.
No, I'm
The
that dude
average-
I'm that dude from Suits. That dude,
Yeah,
I do the else.
yeah.
Yeah, I do the stat. I do the whole thing for everybody else.
Okay, yeah. So you graduate from law school in your late 20s, they're saying. People are saying between the age of 26 to 28. So,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
let's say she went back and did another degree. So she's in her early 30s as a character now, and he's 56. Right. So 15 years ago, she was pretty much a teenager.
Yeah.
So in your and I say this not because I want to, but because it's a sad fact. And any man out there can speak to a friend of theirs, a woman, and ask them. Every woman I know has told me that they've had to deal with catcalling or something of the kind from their teens when they were in high school till now. So if she had 15 years of being catcalled and mansplained, she is infinitely more able to deal with all this. To say her line was accurate, and all you idiots can shut up.
But didn't her brother didn't her cousin have to knock her out before she caught a triple homicide where she killed the 3 dudes outside the bar?
Well, yeah, but that was when she first turned and didn't have any understanding of her power.
Yeah. That's when she was legit hulking out.
Yeah, that was like the first Savage Hulk moment, which, you know what? Again, I wouldn't have minded seeing a little bit of the Savage Hulk, but I understand for the purposes of a comedy, we do not have time to Savage Hulk.
We didn't come here to see 70s Hulk, like 70s She-Hulk, where she has to wander from town to town because she murked 3 dudes in front of a bar, and everyone's like, yeah, some big green girl killed
Bill
them.
Bixby running around town.
Bling, bling, bling. Like that'd be a completely different show. You're like, oh, I hope she finds that cure.
You think that guy will have a cameo?
No, he passed. He passed along. You mean like Bill Bixby passed along like in the 90s, I think.
Oh my god!
But I think you're talking about like Lou Ferrigno would probably show up.
Yeah, I did mean that.
The guy that played the Hulk. Maybe. I think probably like they always try to give him a little play. You know.
He was in one of the movies. He was this bodyguard in one of them with Stan Lee.
He was a security guard in one of them with Stan Lee. He's walking out of the school. Yeah. And I think for the most part, whenever Hulk really hulks out, it's him doing the voice of the Hulk still.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think he was still voicing the Hulk probably up until they merged Bruce Banner and the Hulk together. So he doesn't have to go, he's not doing all the yelling and stuff anymore.
That's hilarious. Yo, man, I'm for it. I'm for it. Let's do this. Let's bring him back.
I mean, what would you bring him back as? I wonder. Like,
Lou Ferrigno?
How would you? Yeah, like, I mean, I would hope they would like give him a speaking role or give him a little shine a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
I would agree. A speaking role would be very kind after all these years of rawr.
Make him like a general. He doesn't. General Ross doesn't have to be the only general in the damn MCU. There's a whole military, and the only guy we ever see in the military is Ross and our boy Rhodes.
War Machine.
Wait, you tell me those are the only 2 people in the whole military that interact with the Avengers? Give us a random guy.
Well, what about the new what's his name? The new Captain America that's killing people with the shields.
Oh,
he's
Walker?
in the military.
yeah, Walker's make him one of Walker's ex-generals who was. Didn't someone suggest Walker to the program?
Oh, no. I don't think they're going to go in that route anymore because they don't need the military's money. I don't know if you heard about that. I think we talked about that before. So usually when movies are doing their thing and they have to do stuff with the military, specifically the US military, they have to present it to them and they have to okay certain things or ask them to change certain stuff because there might be some aspects of it or like maybe, you're showing too much of this or you're showing too much of that, whatever. So, but I think Marvel has stopped doing that altogether. Like they're like, we don't really need your money anymore. And we can actually talk about PTSD and this, that, and the other. So when you watch Winter Soldier, when you watch that whole series, that's the whole point of that series. Yeah.
And the shift has been for a while too, because Ross
while, yeah.
stopped being in a military uniform and was just a guy in a suit.
Yeah, he was a representative of the UN or something like that.
Yeah,
So he
for
ended
the
up like
yeah.
he moved on in his career.
He got promoted.
He got promoted. But yeah, but so basically
Joss,
like
thanks for that insight. I didn't realize that about the relationship with the military, but that's a good one.
yeah, so basically when you do movies with the military, you're not allowed to bring up PTSD, you're not allowed to bring up any of their issues that they would have, and you're like, nope, we're doing this now. Screw that. We're moving in that direction.
Yeah, let's ignore the entire. That's like if you did movies with the government and you couldn't talk about slavery. It's just like you realize your entire country. Like,
That ain't happened. What do you mean? There ain't no
Yeah,
slavery happened.
What are you talking about? 40 acres and what now? Get out of here with that crap. Like,
You
no,
just thought-
no, we have to talk about that crap, you assholes. Anyway, all that to say, She-Hulk, go check it out. The twerk was not that important. Oh, I didn't bring this up when I was on IG, but I have to bring it up here. You race bent Thunderball? Elliot Franklin's a white dude now?
Dude, they're all off. All the wrecking crew's off.
The whole
Fucking Wrecker looks like Mustafa Ali. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. they're not going to be taken seriously at all in this one.
Sure, but I gotta ask because Elliot Franklin has a very specific story that ends with what are they called? Fenris twins, the siblings that have that like power where they connect their arms. And there's a scene where they're working with the wrecking crew, and he gets. Am I cutting out? Oh no, okay. There's a scene where he's working with the wrecking crew, and Black Panther shows up. It's in the last run of Black Panther. If you guys want to, not the last one, but the Ta-Nehisi Coates run. And the Fenris twins start talking mad racist to Black Panther, and Black Panther looks over at Elliot Franklin and goes, "These your mans, them? These your peoples? Are these your peoples, them? Because you're calling me a monkey in front of you, so I just want to make sure I know what's what. We good, or are you running with these Aryan little bastards?" And then it. Black Panther sits next to him and has a whole conversation about like, I read your research. I know you're a Dr. Elliot, like all this stuff. He's just like, I have mad respect for you. I don't know why you're running with these morons. I think you should come with us because these people, and they're all beaten and defeated at that point. But he's just like, these people are done with. Look at these Aryan Nazi motherfuckers. You don't need to run with these people. Come on. And then that's a whole story arc in Ta-Nehisi Coates' thing is Elliot Franklin goes to work in Wakanda and tries to redeem himself as a physicist. And even at one point when he says in the comic book, they used to call me the Black Bruce Banner, and T'Challa's just like, no, why they gotta call you the Black Bruce Banner when you should just be Dr. Elliot Franklin? Like he tells him, it's just like, motherfucker, put some respect on your name. You know this shit. You are as educated as Bruce Banner. Don't let them try and categorize you as the Black Bruce Banner. Get the fuck out of here. And Elliot's just like, yeah, you're right. And it's just like, and then I watch She-Hulk, and this is the one place I'm not happy with, y'all. Elliot Franklin is this scrawny white dude.
I have a theory for this.
You're right.
They're not going to race change him. I would love that.
I don't even know what your theory is, but I hope you're right.
That they stole the construction stuff from Asgardians, but then they're actually going to be turned into the proper wrecking crew.
Okay.
Like they're going to get their powers not here, but somewhere where they'll be like big brutish motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that to the wrecking crew.
But is he going to be white still?
Listen, some of them we gotta trade up. No. You know why? Why? Because we're getting Photon and we're gonna get Blue Marvel. So we got it. They had to just.
But those are black characters. That's not trading. We're losing people.
I've got a solution.
Go ahead.
Remember in Homecoming where the first guy that was a shocker ends up getting murked, and then the other dude just took over.
Yes.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I rather.
Kill the dude.
Not too bad.
Kill.
Just the shocker now.
Those guys all look the exact same in those, and they all look scrawny as shit. So for all you know, they're gonna mess around with the wrong person who they're gonna miss. Like, you know what? This crew will meet another crew that's actually built stronger or whatever. Like, look the part, and then
it's just
they try and swing, we miss, and you take the shit out of you, take your toys.
I'm hoping the IMDb and stuff is wrong because a lot, like everywhere he's even on the Marvel Cinematic Universe wiki, it's listed as that random white dude is playing Elliot Franklin, and I was so disappointed when I saw that because I was like, guys, I don't understand why you would have to race bend this character who has a very, very specific story in the comic book that is 100% linked to his race. I understand if a character happens to be black, that you're just like, this character is this and happens to be black. But no, this dude full on works in Wakanda with Black Panther. We're not gonna white wolf the situation.
But,
Like,
but maybe they're gonna be throwaways long term, though. You know what I mean?
yeah, I guess so.
You got to satisfy the incels somewhere. You can't have too many.
No, I don't know. No satisfying the incels. They're idiots. They're morons. Let's snap them. Thanos snap incels. I swear, if I had the glove, I'd do it right now.
Them incels are the ones who be doing bombings and shit. So yeah, you could get rid of them.
Just one last thing about She-Hulk. I think Megan Thee Stallion's in good with Disney now. So she appeared
the full thing, like a pimp named Slipback. Why
Oh,
do
yeah,
they
you
keep
gotta
saying
say
the
the
full
whole
name?
thing.
No, you don't. Not with Meg.
So Miss
She
Stallion.
says Meg the Stallion.
Miss Stallion.
Miss Stallion. No, you can just say like Meg the Stallion.
Meg,
She doesn't.
But
She
then when
never
I say
said Megan.
Meg, I think about Family Guy.
Oh well, that's a weird
Yeah.
association on your part.
I know.
I mean, I get it now that you say it, but
I gotta say the whole name so you know what I'm talking about.
Say the whole name.
I'm not that cool. I'm not
Megan
so
Thee
cool with her. I can
Stallion.
call her Meg. It sounds weird if I say it.
you
I'm
said
not
it cool
cousin.
because you let it roll. But I feel like this show, they're all like, "Oh my gosh, Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Thee Stallion." It's like,
Yeah, but I mean, Skinny, we know why they say it like that.
because they're white. No offense,
Yeah.
and they have no reason to. You know what I'm saying?
Am I saying it wrong?
No.
Should
His point is you're saying it right. It's just that, and I understand what he's saying.
Phonetically, it's not in their nature to say.
When you watch the
like
episode,
50,
they say it very like Megan the
Stallion.
Stallion. Like it's very articulated.
Oh,
It's
I'm
like
just
folks who
running
think they're
right
clever
through
and
it.
say 50 cents, even though it's 50 cent, and he says
Yeah.
50 cents. People are like, no, 50, and you're like, all right, you just all right.
Yeah, Megan Stallion. That's all one thing.
The only thing is just how she managed to get real good with Disney. So she did she was singing with the Encanto people at the Oscars, and she's really trying to get that mainstream money, and now all of a sudden she's in She-Hulk, twerking on She-Hulk.
Man, it's wild what you can do after you shoot yourself in the foot, eh?
I don't know that she shot herself.
I don't know. Nobody knows who shot.
We'll see what the courts decide.
If they ever decide.
Tori might have shot her.
We'll see what the courts decide.
Supposedly, someone else in the car might have done it.
I think it was, anyways.
We'll never know.
We won't go down this rabbit. I'm just saying she's doing Disney stuff now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
WAP is in a Disney house.
Can you imagine you work on a song called WAP and then you're on She-Hulk? Like
a
you
year
could
later,
not do that 20 years ago. A rapper like Ice-T rapping about whatever Ice Cube, all of them rapping, and as vulgar as they were not going to get Disney money. They had to like calm their image down before anyone would fuck with them with television.
who was, it's funny. A year and a half ago, that would have been Cardi B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy how Cardi B's played now.
Well,
Not played, but like old news.
The only reason they got Megan Thee Stallion is because Jamil knows her and she suggested her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they worked on something called Legendary. I don't know what it is, but they worked on that together.
And
that's
Jamil's
why
this.
Yeah. Jamil suggested, "Oh, I worked with Megan Thee Stallion. Let's get her on the show." And they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And then it turns out that Tatiana is a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan and was just like,
I need to talk to Tatiana, man. I want to have a conversation with that woman. You like me? I need to talk to you.
Oh yeah, dude. Did you hear in an article they told her they had to only tell her that she was going to do the scene with Meg the day before or 2 days before, because if they told her earlier, she wouldn't have focused. She would have been too excited, and they knew she would have been too excited. They legit kept it from her because she wouldn't focus. That's how much
she's walking around on set just singing all of her songs.
Yeah, I want to hear her say lyrics on WAP or what other songs that she has.
Yeah.
Body yaddy 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 on types.
Did you see the pictures of her on the blue platform
in the green screen?
twerking?
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah, they didn't. Supposedly, they didn't even have to tell her. They just said action, and she just went into full like drop it low mode and started to work. They were just like, oh, and Megan was just like, okay. Like supposedly the reaction was just like everyone did not expect her to go full tilt like that.
What is this girl's background? Hold on. Canadian, of course. September 22nd, 1985. Word?
Oh,
Yeah, she's younger.
Dog, you're my all right. You're my
Our
age. That yeah,
Our
but
age.
you know, back when we were kids, like Buffy was like 33.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
so close. Whereas like She-Hulk's legit our age.
yeah.
What have I been doing with my life? Shit.
I mean, getting a good job.
Regina, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I know.
What? He's a
The
rough
way you
rider
said that.
fan?
Regina.
I've been to Regina. How? What?
She escaped.
out of
That's what
there?
happened.
No, but Regina's garbage. Like, no offense. Regina's like Saskatoon. Like, it's just not good.
No.
Oh
Regina
man,
is-
Regina.
Oh man,
To all
no
our
love.
Regina listeners,
Sorry, y'all
It is
got
what
that.
it is.
Yeah, it's all good.
Jeez.
it is what it
Oh,
is.
Your town sucks.
You should be saying thank you, not fucking shitting on them. But anyways.
Oh no,
I'm from
I mean,
Montreal, bro. Like, we can shit on many places in Canada.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do
Except
like,
for, like,
so
Vancouver.
you do like what Doc does. He rewatches his things to point out the things he doesn't like. We get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
rewatch
like-
stuff to see the flaws a second time and be like, that was a mistake.
That's
You
why
need
the
to do
rest of
that better.
Canada doesn't like Quebec because it's just like, oh, the people are assholes, and they're right. They're fully
Yeah, but-
right. We
Yeah, we're
go to your
assholes.
place and say your place is shit to your
Yeah.
face.
Where's your
at your
culture?
spot.
Where's your
We are,
food?
we are assholes.
Huh?
That's what we do.
Don't get us wrong.
Oh
We
my
we
God.
will call your place crap, but we also know we're assholes and
Mhm.
that half of you come here because we have a party city.
And we
And
live in
that-
a mess, though.
Yeah,
Other times.
We,
Yeah.
we live in the Florida of Canada.
Straight up. Straight up.
We live in the Florida of Canada, and we're proud of it.
Oh God.
Yep.
A Quebec man. Yeah, that's true. That is very much us. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So She-Hulk, go check it out. And all you silly billies, get out of here. We don't need you. I would snap you into non-existence immediately, right? If I could. If I knew I could do it, I wouldn't even think. Someone would tell me, by the way, you can now snap in. I would, before they finish a sentence. I would
You
snap
do
it
that
up.
mid snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter today say there was a difference between Peter Quill doing it and She-Hulk, whereas Peter Quill's dancing was comical and immature versus twerking is gross. And I'm just like, man, y'all hate.
That's
black women.
ridiculous.
Wow, so much people don't like ass out there. It's
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
so
That's
sad.
the problem. That's why you don't get the girls
Hey,
because you don't like
all,
ass.
all they want is 10-year-old boy ass. That's all.
Oh,
they want.
what facts though? What facts though? What is up with that?
I like this double team. Good job.
Oh my god.
We need to address that in society. How they always be looking at that 10-year-old
Guys,
boy
Wasn't it
back.
great when we saw Spider-Man dancing? Wasn't it great when we saw Peter dancing? Ew.
She-Hulk
She-Hulk dancing
twerking.
is like, what the fuck are you guys?
Like
What is
I
wrong with
I
you?
remember there was an
Spandex
argument.
here.
There was an argument somewhere, and someone was saying that like Rihanna looks fat now, and everyone's like, "Dude, she was 16 when she first came out. What's wrong with you?"
And by fat, they better mean pretty hot and tempting because they
Tempting.
better shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I was
they're
about to say,
like,
you
so
better be
just had a
PH on
baby.
that.
no, not this is before she had the baby. This is when she was still kind of messing with Drake and kind of like, okay,
Oh, okay,
let
what's
me
my
move
name?
away from
Yeah.
Drake a bit.
Oh
Like,
yeah, but we're talking.
It's like,
but we're
what?
talking about people who can't appreciate. That
but
they
no,
don't
but
count.
no, but they were like, oh, I missed her when she was skinny. I was like, when she first came out,
Jaws.
she was 16.
16.
She wasn't even an adult.
Yeah.
upon
What
the
is
replay, it
wrong
was-
with
yeah,
you?
Yeah, no.
But Jaws, never forget those people don't count. We're gonna get rid of them. You gonna get
Are
rid
we?
of them? It's
It's
not a
still
threat. It's a
genocide,
promise.
Brian.
We gonna get rid of y'all.
It's still genocide.
Every snap.
It's still genocide.
It's still
He's right.
genocide.
Straight up genocide.
I don't know. I'm just saying. if
You
I-
do know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't say I don't know.
You
I
do
just
know.
want them to cease to exist. I think those are two different things. But sure, let's move on. Bullet Train. Speaking of things going into places and people disappearing,
It was
if
great.
you saw the movie, that made
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
A lot
no.
of people disappear in the movie. Anyways,
Yeah.
Ah.
I was gonna say people go in and don't come out alive. That's what
Yeah,
that's
that's
I thought that's what I was
Oh, well,
I was
looking this
expecting
up.
more dark than that. If I had to be honest.
I have one note that a friend of mine asked me to add if I ever talked about Bullet Train. Brad Pitt, you are not as charming as you think you are. You need to
shit.
calm down. That was what she told me.
Ooh.
I won't lie, he was not the most charming. The dual assassins,
The
brothers,
twins?
the twins. They were the
Quote-unquote
most.
twins.
They were the most charming in that
Yeah.
whole
But the
movie.
commercial gives away the movie. Like you see Brad Pitt in the train, and then you see people flying throughout the train. Then you see Brad Pitt in stubble and a bunch of crashes and debris around him. So you're kind of like, bro.
But it's
I know
more
how
the journey.
Yeah,
the journey.
yeah.
More the journey.
The train
No,
explodes.
seriously.
Done. Like what
No,
do you-
but like what happens on the train to get to that point is what's more interesting. Like
Well,
it sounds
a
like
tower
Smoking
run.
Aces to me.
you know what it is?
But it's a tower run movie.
Yeah,
Like
I was gonna say this reminds me of like if Quentin Tarantino decided to do like an action movie, that's what this was.
What? He
Doesn't he do
action
action
movies?
No,
I wouldn't say he does action movies.
oh, interesting.
Okay.
I'm like if Quentin Tarantino decided to do a Smoking Aces, this is what it would be.
Okay.
Just
Just
with how like
conversational vignettes,
Yeah.
and they just so happen. Sometimes it just so happens to have a
Conversation.
little bit.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
so like
Little bit
that
of
cowboy
that.
movie he did that was 3 hours long, where they all died at the end.
Yeah,
that's a
There's
western.
a lot of talking.
But that's not like
No,
that's
but they
not-
all sat like in a room, and then they were just like like what was that?
Oh,
movie?
Hateful Eight.
Hateful
Yeah,
Eight.
Yeah.
that was definitely-
Terrible.
But
Man,
no, but
what
I'm
about
saying
Action
because like
set
how
piece, you come to the room, you know what's gonna happen.
no, it's because how it was filmed and how they had
Tarantino
like
conversation.
they labeled like all the characters and stuff, and just genuinely how a lot of the conversations went. It was like, oh, this is very Quentin Tarantino-esque, which I enjoyed because I like Quentin Tarantino.
I like the action. I think I mean, I didn't think Brad Pitt was that bad, but as per my friend, he's not. You're not that charming. I like the cameos. I thought the cameos were really good.
Mhm.
I thought the fight scenes were well choreographed. I thought the ending was a little over the top, but I was like, okay, whatever. I can deal with it because the action throughout the movie was fun.
Speaking of cameos, I guess Brad Pitt and Ryan Reynolds are even now. Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah,
That's what I noticed right away. I'm like,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
you cashed in a receipt.
that is good. That is actually very good. That's true.
You
That's
cashed in a receipt hard.
If I remember
That's
right, the director of this movie used to be Brad Pitt's stunt double. Used to be a stunt double.
Oh, is
I
that
can't
the
remember
connection? Okay.
for Fight Club. I think it was for Fight Club.
Oh wow.
So it's like his stunt double for Fight Club, and then he moved on and became a director, and now he's directing Brad Pitt. So that's why probably the action scenes, the action
That's
fight
so
scenes
cool.
are pretty good.
That's cool. I like that.
Because it was. Do you know the name of the guy? Is it David? Oh,
Let me see if I can look it up
David
real quick.
Leitch, I think.
Sounds about. I don't know. I have no clue. Why am I
Yeah,
guessing?
he did that because he also did. Yes, so it is him because he did Fast and the Furious, Presents Hobbs and Shaw, Atomic
John
Blonde,
John
Wick,
John
and
Wick, sorry.
and he did Deadpool 2, which is the
Oh,
other. Like, so you see that, like, it's both directors from both films, so it's like literally has to be cashing in.
Yeah,
That was cool though. I thought that was funny. Now that you've pointed it out too, it's even better. It's like, oh snap, that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So-
The one character I thought was a little weird was who's the girl the Asian girl working the carts throughout the movie.
Oh, that was Miko, the girl from The Boys.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a little weird that the girl from The Boys, Karen Fukuhara, is just working as a train attendant. I kept expecting her to do something super cool, and she literally just serves drinks throughout the whole movie. And you're like, what the fuck, man?
I thought she
Yeah,
was going to be the Hornet or whatever they call the.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought initially it was going to be her or what's his name? The other guy who did the cameo. Oh, I hate him so much in so many things. That's why I don't know his name. He was supposed to be Remy LeBeau. He was supposed to be Gambit, but it fell through.
Oh,
Channing
what's his name?
Tatum. I thought it was also going to be him for a moment.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Like I especially since they referenced to him a bunch of times and he was always down for things. I'm like, okay, he's just
that
like
was pretty funny.
he's just being out of this world. But then when it was the person in the get up, you're like, oh yeah, of course, 'cause she grabbed the case and stuff.
Funny though.
Yeah, but I thought overall, let me put it this way: I went to go see something that would entertain me and make me not think for the next 2-3 hours, and it made me think a little bit because I was curious to try and figure out the story a smidge. But overall, I thought it was a fun watch. Overall,
all right, I'm down.
I just realized that Kimiko played the homegirl in Suicide Squad.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Which one? Oh, the Katana?
Katana. Yeah, had no idea that she played
yeah.
such a terribly wasted character.
Yeah,
but that's why again, when I saw her in Bullet Train and she's literally serving drinks the entire film, I kept thinking,
She gonna
this
do
girl
something, right?
has next level sword training. She has to be someone else.
No,
You can't just have her serving drinks.
Olivia Munn.
But you know what? For her though, it is. Let's just suggest that she's a fan of, because there's a lot of cool actors in this film.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of interesting actors in this film. If she was like a fan of them and wanted to interact with them, technically that's how she could interact with the most of them.
Yeah.
Because that girl in the cart, she got to go all over the store, right?
I get it. And again, like Jaws was saying, misdirection, probably one of the best ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% understand. I'm just shocked because when you have someone so talented with weapons in a movie, like imagine you had Keanu Reeves in a movie, all the martial arts training he's done and all that stuff, and Keanu Reeves is just the concierge at the desk.
I bet you there's a movie somewhere that's actually happened. I guarantee you.
Probably, like you're not wrong. That's just, but you would be shocked. Is what you'd probably be like.
No, but I would probably have a laughing reaction to that. That would be like as if he showed up in the Expendables and was just like serving them drinks. I would laugh.
Oh, that would be fun. Okay, yeah.
Like you know what I mean. Okay. That would be comical. In that
hey, do you want to come with us? No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like the idea.
That's my second job. I'm just chilling here.
I got like something happens and he like does some martial arts, and then they're like, "You want to join us?" He's like, "No, I'm good," and just like, okay, I'm not mad at this.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but no, overall, I think it was. I also liked how it was shot. Like the movie in general, like it was very well shot.
Yeah. Cool.
Pokemon.
What? Jaws. You checked out a Pokemon series recently?
There's a next what?
Okay. So I am playing Pokemon Arceus, and it's really fun.
Sorry,
yeah. It's not new, but it came out this year, and it's basically a Pokemon game where it's using a bit of like adventure and the JRPG elements of Pokemon, and they're smashing them together. So I love how I guess Black Twitter kind of puts it together. So what happens is you're probably somebody from the present and you go back into the past where people aren't really interacting with Pokemon as much. They're a little bit more afraid of them. And there's like a team of people called the Galaxy team, and they're studying Pokemon, and you're effectively creating the first Pokedex. And so what ends up happening is you come through like a time wormhole or something like that, and it's causing like these specific Pokemon to go into a frenzy. And so you have to help out the two clans that are usually battling each other, and now they're kind of have like this uneasy peace to kind of settle these I guess the nobles, these like legendary Pokemon that they have, that they kind of that they honor and stuff, that quell their frenziness and then kind of return the land to normal kind of thing. So the way Black Twitter talks about this game is like, oh, your Pokemon human ancestors used to like straight up fight Pokemon because you're running around and these Pokemon can see you and then come attack you, and you have to like throw your Pokemon to like, don't, or you gotta sneak up on them and like throw a Pokeball to catch them and stuff like that. So there's just sometimes Pokemon see you and they're just like, yo, square up, and you're like, oh shoot. So someone made a really good comic where like there's this bear Pokemon and he's like walking away like all worried, and then this girl's all beaten up and she's like, yo, I didn't hear no bell ring, and she puts up her fist and she's being like, yo, let's do it.
Oh Jesus.
Sounds
like,
intense.
yo, I hear no bell ring, and he's just like, no, please, I don't want her. So it's a pretty fun game. Like it's a mix of like I said, like an action adventure. So you're, as these Pokemon are coming at you and they're like doing their attacks at you, and you didn't throw out your Pokemon yet, you have to dodge out of the way. You have to throw your Pokemon in the way. You got to dodge like attacks and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I think I'm fairly close to the end, and definitely worth playing on the Switch. And it's really fun because when you get to these frenzied Pokemon, they're like bosses. You have to like dodge their attacks, and then you shoot this like thing called a salve to like calm them down, and then you fight them. Or you could just spam them with the salve. Like you just like, if you know how to like play like action adventure games like Uncharted, what was it called again? Dark Souls, all that kind of stuff, and you time it right, you could just like not take any damage, and you could just spam them with it and not even pull out your Pokemon to like attack them and stuff.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. But it's a pretty fun game. It's for the Switch. And then I think the next Pokemon game is supposed to be coming out sometime in, I think, September, November, called Scarlet and Violet. And there might be some of those elements from this game in that game, apparently.
How many Pokemon games are there now?
There's a lot.
I would say
there's a lot.
Yeah.
Like mainline or like
I was gonna say mainline. I was gonna say mainline.
Let's
and
see
also
here.
does the entire series in the gaming series, does it continue? Like, is there like a thread throughout, or is it kind of just like all separate serialized stories that don't connect? It's not episodic at all.
Are you constantly with what's his name? Ash?
No. You're always a new person.
I knew you weren't Ash every time, but
like, do you interact with him? Like, is he a constant?
That's what I was asking. Like, if Ash does something, if you do something in one game as a character, which is part of the story that they're writing, when you get to the next game, does that thing exist?
Not all the time. It depends on the games. So just first, there's 9 generations so far. So there's 9 games, but remember, each game is either split up between 2 to 3 games depending on the generation.
Right.
Like you have the first generation you would play as quote unquote Ash. It's not really Ash, but whatever. Yeah. And then in the second, so that's red, blue, yellow. In the second generation is silver, gold, and crystal.
There wasn't a green one, or did I imagine
there was a green one in Japan?
Yes.
And that green one was really busted. So then when they brought it here, it had a lot of fixes. It had a lot of bug fixes and stuff.
Okay.
So here it's red and blue and yellow, and in Japan I think it's red, green, yellow, if I remember right.
Oh, they just going dis blue like that? All right, fine.
Well, blue's like the newer
updated
version. It's the upgraded one.
Yeah.
I like the water Pokemon. I'm sorry. I'm
and all so about in the second generation, what happens is you beat the first you beat the island you beat the area that you're in, and then there's a second part where you go back to the old area you were in the first game.
Okay.
And then once you're done that, so that way you can get almost all 250 Pokemon, or how many ever there were at that time, in both. And then there's another part where you end up fighting your quote unquote yourself from the first game. So you fight like the guy that beat everybody in the first game. Your character is a new character, and you end up encountering him at the end of everything. Like after you go and beat the Elite Four and this, that, and you're like, yo, who's this dude on the mountain? And it's like, it's you. And you're like, oh shoot, not yourself, but yourself from the first game. And then all the other games kind of continue on and do their own thing. They're in their 9th. I think this new one coming out, Scarlet and Violet would be the 9th generation.
How many Pokemon are there now? Like, okay, if it was 150, gotta catch them all, and then you had silver and gold, so that's another 150.
Nah, it's too many.
It's like they're like at least 500-600 now, right?
Yeah.
But what happened? So wait, if you start another game, like example, when you went from like,
you lose your Pokemon.
You always lose your Pokemon. You always have to start from scratch.
There are 905 Pokemon spread across 8 generations.
So every
There's
time
97, they made 905.
I knew when you said there was 9 generations, I was like, I'm pretty sure there's 100 Pokemon per generation. Like there's some kind of
So now you'd have so every year you have to go and
not every year
get all or whatever, every game you have to basically restart, collect all the Pokemon you had.
But you don't actually collect all the Pokemon.
You don't have to collect them. That's could be a part of what you want to do, and you would trade with your friends to get the rest of them. That's always like part of it. Yeah. And you could also bring Pokemon from your old games over, but at a certain point you can't do it because it's so old. It's so old. So like they had a thing called the Pokemon Bank, and you could put some of your Pokemon in there, but then they started to discontinue. This whole drama and stuff. So
nobody has that transfer cable either way. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But you would bring your Pokemon from Game Boy to the Game Boy Color game, then to Game Boy Advance, then to DS, then to 3DS.
Really?
True. What do they even play on now? What's the handheld of Nintendo? Oh fuck!
The Switch is the new one. Yeah,
it's fully upgraded to. Oh my gosh! It's not even on.
So the last one they did.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Bro, if I had Pokemon on Switch in '97, I'm playing that all day. Right. I beat Pokemon Red on the old Game Boy. That was painful. painful.
Sword and Shield was the newest one on Switch.
Sheesh.
And then yeah, the next one's going to be Scarlet and Moon. So Sword and Shield came out in 2019. Scarlet and Violet is coming out this year.
They need to chill, man. They need to chill.
Nah, it makes money, son.
But that's my.
It's like One Piece. It's too long.
This stuff makes more money than what's his name?
But
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but Jaws, real quick.
Yeah.
Who is the demographic? Like, is the demographic still the same original people who played it back then? And they're just like, it's like Transformer action figures. It's still us collecting.
It's still us collecting, but they still kind of make it appeal to kids because it's still for everyone.
It's Pokemon. It's always going to appeal to kids.
The whole point of the game is that you're a kid and you're leaving your town to go and catch these Pokemon, go on your adventure. So it's still kids, but obviously we grew up with it. You're taking something from your Game Boy and you're just
literally
all the way to your Switch.
If you can, you're moving that along, or you jump back in the game like they remade Diamond and Pearl for the Switch.
Wait, isn't Diamond and Pearl the name of like an R&B album from when we were kids?
No, that was Diamonds and Pearls. That was a show. Wasn't that that was
event? Prince?
It's Prince.
Prince.
Okay.
Diamonds and Pearls. Yeah, but then
it's a song.
Diamonds
and
No, we shouldn't sing it because we get demonetized.
Yeah,
you shouldn't sing. Don't sing it.
As if we could, even if we tried to sing it, we wouldn't do it justice the way he does. So it's all
no, but like when he passed, it was like put out all the Prince stuff, put out all the bootleg Prince stuff, and then when they finally got their stuff together and stopped infighting, and they started shutting everything down.
So crazy.
But
okay, cool.
But yeah, they remade Diamond and Pearl. And shoot, where was I going with that? They remade it. Right, that was it. They remade Diamond and Pearl. So that came out in 2006. And the remake came out I think in 2020.
Okay.
And people were like, I'm gonna do a new team. And there's like, nope, default back to the team you had back in the day in 2006 on a DS.
Jeez.
Get that familiarity going. I'm home.
Oh boy.
And they still have the cartoon playing, right?
Yeah,
but it's the animation somehow got worse.
Well, I mean, it's more easier for them to animate it how they do it now. That's how it's going across the board.
Bad. It looks so bad
across the board. That's how it's usually doing.
But it's also not Ash anymore, right?
It's still Ash.
Oh, it's still Ash.
Yeah,
just like how
everybody else left and got life, like Misty and Homeboy, they all left.
Just like how
he's like a drunken old guy on the show. Like
miraculously still 12.
Just like how Bart and Lisa are still in the grades they're in for all this time. What, 30 years later, they're still in the same grade?
Big ups to the parents who just allow their son, single mom, to be like, hey, mom, yeah, I'm going on an adventure. I'm going to catch all these Pokemon. Okay. Come on, man.
I'm going to call my mom and see how she's doing. Professor Oak, what are you doing here? What are you doing at my mom's house?
Why are you at my mom's house? Don't worry, Ash. How are you doing filling out my Pokedex? Are you filling out my mom's Pokedex? What are you up to? Yes, I'm helping her with her Pikachu. Yes.
Oh, oh boy. That's it. Nah.
And we're out.
And on that note, folks, we're going to start wrapping up this week. Thank you all for tuning in to this wild show where we're out here talking about Pokemon parents getting the back
broken by Pikachu and Honest. Watch House of the Dragons. That shit's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about House of the Dragons.
Oh, real quick.
I didn't know if everyone had watched it. That's why I didn't want to.
I didn't know, but you guys can go ahead.
I watched the first episode an hour ago. Shit's nuts.
I watched all the episodes. Shit keeps getting nuts.
HBO's like, we back. They weren't playing around in this first episode, cutting some dude's balls off, all sorts. They hey, we got that CGI update. Let's go.
Yeah.
Black
the balls?
Black dude not drinking around white people. Just no, I'm good.
Yeah. Knowing enough not to get drunk in the room full of white people.
Yo, props to these guys to being like, yeah, we messed up last time. Let's have a black dude in here and fully start that mixed children thing. Let's start that from year 105 because that's what we're up to. Yeah, I love it.
And for those who've watched the other episodes, you'll note that some potential mixed blood getting into the higher positions is a thing. There's some conversations. Nothing's locked down. Nothing's been done, but they're in the mix, and that already was cool to me to see those conversations being had. But yeah, the show's kind of crazy. Matt Smith's doing a really good job. I didn't think he was going to be. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I like Matt Smith, but I like him in the show. Yeah, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about him on this show because, you know, I feel like his villainy, he plays villains well, but every time he's played a villain, the thing hasn't done well. Like Morbius didn't do well, and what's the Terminator movie where he? Yeah,
Genesis?
Terminator. Yeah, exactly.
Genesis. Did you see the movie that he did with what was the guy that did Last Night in Soho? Yeah, I remember the name of the movie. Did you see that one?
Oh, that's the one. That's the one where that girl like is like possessed, like she's going someone else's lives or something like that. Like
yeah, she's like going between like the past and the present kind of thing.
Yeah. I actually really want to see that. Is it good?
That's what's the name of that dude? The guy that did the Cornette trilogy and Baby Driver.
Jim Cornette? Kidding.
Crockett Productions?
No, the director that did the director that was going to do Ant-Man, and then he ended up not doing it. Yeah, that's his movie. Edgar Wright, that's his movie.
Yeah, it's funny that the only way I could remember him is when you said Baby Driver, which is a very good film, and he does an excellent job directing it. I should have definitely remembered that. But
and
no,
I said the Cornetto trilogy. Yeah. I don't even know the name of those stupid cones, and I haven't been to Britain, so I don't remember the name of those cones.
Yeah, but which is the Shaun of the Dead, the bar at the end of the whatever, and
End of the Earth, and Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, I always forget that those are technically a trilogy, though. That's why.
Which doesn't make sense.
No, they're they're just all genre movies. Yeah, they're just all genres. It's all the same actors.
Yeah,
but they're all different characters. It's just his little silliness.
It's his
trilogy. That's it.
No, it's not. It's like how what's his name? The guy who made Spaceballs.
Oh, Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. It's like he has his top 3 or 5 movies. Like you have Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. They're not sequels. They're not the same. They're just all there.
Every time I hear Blazing Saddles, I get sad.
Why?
Every time, because Paws of Fury was supposed to be Blazing Samurai. Paws of Fury that came out this summer was supposed to be a Blazing Saddles remake, and Paramount pussied out because they didn't want to deal with that controversy and decided to call it Paws of Fury.
Oh, really?
Failed, boy. Failed. And I can say that because I don't work for them niggas no more.
Paws of Fury, that's the animated thing, right?
Paws of Fury, yeah, is the animated movie with the dog. It was supposed to be Blazing Samurai. I have a cup that says Blazing Samurai. I have a sweater that says Blazing Samurai. And then Paramount was like, yeah, no, we can't do that.
But it wasn't supposed to be connected to Blazing Saddle. It was just going to be Blazing Samurai.
It was going to be like the animated version of Blazing Saddles, where instead of having a black dude being a sheriff of a white town, you have a dog being a sheriff of a cat town.
Oh,
it's the exact same premise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they called it Paws of Fury because reasons.
That's so unfortunate.
So stupid. They could have made so much money off that.
If you just look it up, is Paws of Fury based on Blazing Saddles? Full on, that's the question that comes up.
Skinny facts.
Wikipedia, the film is a loose remake of the 1974 live-action film Blazing Saddles. Full on.
That would have made them so much money if they did.
That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
I would have seen that if I'd known that's what the plan was.
Right?
That was a really good movie.
Yep.
I'm sorry. There's many reasons why I like that movie, but it completely won me over when that guy punched out that horse. I don't know what it is about that. When he punches out that horse, I fucking die. Like when it happened, I cried of laughter. I'm like, rewind it, rewind it.
And then Arnold had to top that by punching a camel in Conan.
Yeah. But like when he did that, oh man. Or when he went to like watch the end of the movie so that he could know what he was supposed to do, or whatever. Like I was like, that's just great.
He does that bit too much. He does that in Spaceballs too.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Man, all right. Yeah, guys, go check out all this stuff. Lord of the Rings also came out. It's been solid. 2 episodes out. Oh, and I'll name drop the show. Did he say it's shit?
Some people say it's not that great. I have not watched it because of how many people have told me that it's not that great.
But what is question? Because I've watched the movies and I watched this. It seems very much in the same energy. What exactly were people hoping for?
Well, I don't know what people were hoping for. However, I will say this. A friend of mine who actually has read all the books and is like super into it, because like this is not based off of
This isn't based on the book.
It's all on the book. There's a book. There's a book that the son of the author made that he took all the little passages that they had from the past and references in all the books. He accumulated all that and made like a reference, like a historic book.
Yeah.
Right.
And the show is based on that.
And the show is based on that.
Right.
And my friend read a good portion of that, but it's really thick and very a certain way.
Of course.
But my friend said he's like, it's very accurate. So I don't like he's like, I don't understand, but apparently people hate this show.
Yeah, that's because someone I know who's, I think she didn't read it, but she said she was going to, but she's just like, you know what? I don't need to read it if I'm going to watch the show, because from what I understand, they're planning to stay very true to it. And she was just like, I'm just going to watch the show instead. So I just find it, I mean, I found the action and the scenes interesting. I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was shit. Sorry, Peggy. I mean, if you weren't happy, so be it. That is very fair.
Hey, it could be much worse. They could have done a whole series about Tom Bombadil, and you would be crying your If I was king of the world, I'd just be petty like that. Last 20-hour series of Tom Bombadil.
I just want them and Amazon and Hulu and Crave. Guys, if you want a show about dragons and mystics and whatnot, y'all have a whole series of books called Dragonlance. Get on it. Please. If you haven't read Dragonlance, get on it. Because it's better than Game of Thrones. Yeah. Better than Lord of the Rings. Dragonlance.
Dope.
Yes.
Also, AMC Plus has a new show, animated series called Pantheon. Very, very good. The first 2 episodes are out. It's really interesting. It's about a world where they are transferring people's minds into a digital system, and it starts to get kind of crazy. So go check it out, folks. That's everything this week on Geektastic Sci-Fi. I think we talked about as many shows as we've ever talked about in a while. I don't think we've talked about this many shows in a while, but it was fun. Anything you guys want to tell people? Anything you guys want to say to sign off?
Nope. Go ahead and check out Transformer Slag on YouTube, and you can catch me, Jaws D, on Twitter.
There you go. Check out The Dumbest Timeline. It's available on any platform under Brian Holiday. And it's also on Free X Agents Media's YouTube channel. You guys can go check out the episode there. And that's it.
Stop talking about Pokemon. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Shut your mouth.
Wild times. Yeah, y'all.
Still suck.
What still sucks?
Eternal still sucks.
Oh, wow. You come out of nowhere.
Peace, y'all. Be back.
Peace.
So does Rick and